homemade tortellini made by Glenn Flood. I know this is going to be absolutely delicious. Glenn, it's sometimes a little bit daunting for people at home to make pasta from scratch, right?
Absolutely, Jazz. This is like my entertainer dish, all right? So if you're coming around, goat cheese tortellini, we're going to do some pan-fried prawns and a little bit of capers.
Oh, I love the sound of this. So what type of flour are we using?
This is a type 00 flour, so extra finely milled.
Yes.
We drop that in, pinch of salt, and then for this one, 200 grams of flour, 2 eggs and 1 yolk. So the yolk adds a little bit extra richness.
Right, love that. So in they go. And that's it. That's all we have in our pasta. That's it?
Absolutely. Put the lid on there and just blend it until a dough forms.
Okay, here we go. Oh, yes, look at that.
So just tip it out onto the bench here, Jazz.
Okay.
And I'm just going to knead it to form it up into a dough.
So this is a really good point to show people at home, so you don't have to worry about it coming to a ball in the food processor. You do need to work it.
So now there's a little bit of elbow grease going into it.
Oh, good. I'm happy you're doing that bit.
This is where you can make a little bit of mess, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's touchy-feely, and this is what people love about making pasta at home, right? Because it's the humidity of the flour, like are the eggs larger or smaller, and all these little things contribute.
Because every flour is different, so you may need a little bit more egg or a little bit less, but you're going to show us the exact consistency that we're after.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for here. What we're doing here is working the gluten.
Yes.
All right, working the gluten so it's nice and stretchy, nice and elastic, and that's the sign of a good pasta.
Nice one. And so, Glenn, we can't roll this out straight away, can we?
No, this dough needs to rest. So what we're going to do, cling film it, rest it in the fridge for about an hour or so.
Okay, so a little bit of cling film. So in it goes, and I'll wrap that up nice and tightly.
Yeah, perfect, right? And this is what it looks like. And so to laminate it down, what we're going to do here, a little bit of flour onto the bench, all right? Because the dough now is quite wet. We just want to dry it to the stage that it's not going to stick on the machine, okay? So you never wash your pasta machine.
Yes,
all right?
I learned that.
That's a big tip. That's a big tip, right? And so now just getting it to the right sort of shape. As you can see, I stretch it a little bit so it's going to feed through, feeding it through. So now we're using the pasta machine to do the work. It's like we're reworking that gluten again. You can see it's a little bit rough.
Yes.
And what we'll do is just flour it down a little bit more, right? So I'm just feeling it. I'm feeling it, how moist it is, and I'm drying it out to the level that it's not going to stick on the machine.
Beautiful. And so we continue this process quite a lot. It needs to go through 4, 5, maybe 6 times until we get it really thin. How thin should this pasta be?
So I want to go down to the lower setting.
Nice one. Okay, here we go.
All right, that's rolled out nice and thin. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut these out for our tortellini.
Right.
In the meantime, can you make the goat cheese mix?
Absolutely.
Yep. Some zest of a lemon, a little bit of cracked pepper and a bit of salt.
Too easy. Nice, simple filling. And you can make these into large tortellini or you can do little small ones, can't you?
Yeah, these are about a 9 centimetre.
Right, okay. And some fresh parsley. I'm just going to chop that down. Fantastic. So this is where it gets interesting and quite fun. Filling and just folding the tortellini.
Absolutely, and it's good. I'm glad that you're here to help me, right? Because it's a nice little production line. It's good to get the kids involved with, you know, if you've got guests coming over, you get them making their own dinner.
Yeah, I think that is a really nice thing. If you're going to do it, you want to invest some time in making it. So how whipped do you want this?
Yeah, just combined, because it's going to go into the boiling water as well, so all those flavours are going to roll through. The lemon zest is going to give a real spike and a complement to the prawns that we're going to serve it with.
Beautiful. How much would you like me to fill it with?
Yeah, about a teaspoon in the middle here.
Okay, there we go. Oh, and that's that egg white that we reserved.
Yeah, extra egg white. So that acts as a bit of a glue. So once we fold it together, it's going to help it bind. So we put that right in the middle.
Yes.
And then fold these 2 over so as a little semicircle. Now, the key to making tortellini that's going to survive the boiling water is not to have any air inside. So you can see, kind of like making dumplings, right?
Yes.
Try to squeeze all that air out there first.
And you do that by just going around the actual filling with your fingers.
Absolutely. Just, it's all touchy-feely, right?
Yes, it is.
We love about food. Then just a little bit more glue just on the side. And what we do, bring those two together.
Oh, look at that.
And there we have our tortellini.
Isn't it gorgeous? You make it look so easy, Glenn.
It is easy.
Okay, let's make a few together.
Yeah, so the tortellini's all made.
Yep.
What I've got in the pan here is some olive oil and the butter. I'm going to take that to a beurre noisette stage. The nuttiness is really delicious.
Ooh, love that.
If you can start slicing the garlic for me, I'm
Can
going to get the
do.
capers straight into the pan.
Okay. So just nice thin slivers.
Perfect.
Okay.
That'll
there we
do
go.
it. I'm going to drop the sage in as well. Straight in the pan, Jay.
I love this because the sauce is really fast. So
Yeah.
you've made an effort on your tortellini. You can make them ahead of time, put them in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then you make your sauce when everyone's ready to sit down.
Absolutely. So into that, I can smell the flavour going on. So I'm going to put our prawns in there and we'll start those ones cooking.
Yep.
Now what happens as this cooks along, right, just to slow the cooking process down, is we can use a bit of lemon juice, which also adds a great flavour, but slows the temperature down.
Lucky I have a whole bowl of lemons here for you, sir.
Lovely. I'm going to put the tortellini in now. That'll only take a couple of minutes to cook.
Okay, there's a
Yeah,
little...
just drop those straight in.
And we've salted that water.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got my spider here just ready to fish them out. So it'll only take a few minutes. Because it's fresh pasta, it cooks a lot quicker than dry pasta.
Right.
And what I'll get you to do, Juz, just for a garnish, we're going to use some chives. So just cut those into a little bit of a chive batten, I think. They don't have to be super fine. They're
Batten?
like rustic. Yeah, about sort of yay long.
Like this.
Perfect. All right, so the tortellini's floating, so we know it's almost ready. I'm going to flip those prawns there. You can see the caramelisation. They're pretty much cooked. This smells fantastic, doesn't it?
So good.
Yeah, Juz, you want to squeeze some lemon juice into that?
I'd love to. There we go. Good.
Right. Now I'm turning that off.
Okay.
That's ready to go.
Right. Very nice.
Tortellini are floating to the surface, so we're good to go.
Okay. And in they go. No bursts, which means that we did seal them correctly.
Absolutely. And don't be too worried about a little bit of water coming into this, because it all adds to the sauce, all right?
Yeah.
So I'm just turning it through there, because the idea with the tortellini, it's got these beautiful pockets to which to capture the sauce, all right? And then we bring it over here to plate it up.
All right.
All right?
Well, it depends if you're having it as a main or an entree.
Yeah, well, this is something you could share as well.
Yes, of
All right,
course.
so I'm just thinking this, because it's a small bowl here, I'll
Yep.
probably put half a dozen tortellinis in there, all right? Ooh, lovely.
Yep.
And then with those prawns, whoosh, they're super crunchy. I mean, they've just cooked up beautifully. See that sort of butterfly as well?
I kind of like you've left the prawns whole. You know, sometimes you see a tortellini and they've got little bits of prawns, which is delicious too, but this is really a celebratory dish when it's served like this.
Absolutely. Doesn't butter make everything taste a little bit better?
Yes, it
All right?
does.
I think it does.
Last little one, beautiful. And we've got some chives over the top
Yes.
and...
Pine nuts just give it a little bit more texture. I like the crunch, the flavour of this. Goat cheese, pine nuts, good combination.
And what's this you've brought in?
This is a beautiful prawn oil, all right? So this adds a nice little bit of aroma and definitely colour to tie all the dish together.
You're really spoiling me here.
Yeah, absolutely. Should we have a taste?
I think we should. Thank you. All right, it's all about that tortellini.
It's cooked beautifully.
Bit of prawn. Look at me, I need every little component on the fork.
I like it. I'm going back in.
He's going back in. Why not? It's that good. You do need to have a whole bowl of that to yourself. It is absolutely delicious. Glenn, thank you.